Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I have geared this next Evil Dead video to be both for returning Evil Dead fans or just people that are coming in brand new to the films or series. I'm going to touch on characters and the premise of story very mildly so I don't spoiler anybody on anything, just in case. And hopefully all of this will get those of you that are brand new to Evil Dead to kind of encourage you to go back and watch some of the old films, the remake, and even the series. They're all really, really good. First, watch the films, then watch the series if you're planning on it. That said, let's jump right in. Now, first thing we see is the back of Ash Williams. Ash is short for Ashley Joanna Williams. Now, Ash is typically considered by a lot to be the best horror movie character ever. And if you go throughout horror, really, there is no one that kind of stands out like Ash does. You know, it's funny because he's regarded as a hero a lot of the times, but if you really think about it, he's just really clumsy, man. If it wasn't for his group, none of this stuff would have ever happened. But yeah, it's Ash and his girlfriend Linda, Scott, Shelly, his sister Cheryl that kind of get mixed up with the Necronomicon and the tape recordings in a log cabin. They're kind of going off on a vacation just to chill in the woods, probably smoke dope and just have fun. And they happen across demons, you know. All right, so here with older Ash, we have the new gauntlet on his hand, the one that Pablo built him. I wonder if you'll be able to choose as older Ash whether he's going to have a gauntlet on his arm or a chainsaw on his arm. Is it like that for every Ash? Or is there certain Ashes with certain loadouts? This is a very interesting question to think about, kind of in theorizing how the gameplay is going to be. Because obviously with the chainsaw, you're going to have different attacks than with the gauntlet. The gauntlet first appeared in Evil Dead Army of Darkness, where Ash is transported to 1300 AD. So right here on the right side of the trailer, we have a flamethrower. Correct me if I'm wrong. I still need to catch up on the third season of Ash vs. Evil Dead. But I think the only time there's ever been a flamethrower was in the video games. So it'll be nice to see that introduced in the game. Maybe you have to build it. It'd be cool to maybe see if you actually have to go out into the shed and build stuff to use. So I don't know if there's any hiding mechanics in this game or if you're going to have any moments where you can kind of watch the Kandarian demon do its thing from a distance, those moments where you feel like you're safe, but then maybe it turns and sees you suddenly and comes after you. I don't know how the developers may implement that, but I do love the atmosphere that's presented to us here. And with that, I just want to kind of lead into some things that the developers have put right on their website that some have overlooked, but we got to talk about this. So first thing on the website, it says, play as a team of 4 survivors exploring, looting, managing your fear. That's what I want to get into. So seems like they're implementing their own fear system, which is also similar to Friday the 13th. I wonder how they're going to do it for this game. Then right underneath, it shows all the licenses they have access to. And then right under that, it says, fight for the forces of good or take control of the powerful Kandarian demon to hunt Ash and other players while possessing Deadites, the environment, and even the survivors themselves as you seek to swallow their souls. This brings up a lot of questions. My assumption is that you can possess the other survivors only when you've used the environment to scare them, to work up their fear, and when they've reached a certain level of fear, you can then possess them and then maybe mingle with other players. I don't know if then you just go and attack other players, or if you can actually mingle with them and pretend to be innocent, Among Us style, getting a little bit of an Among Us gameplay within the game, which could make the gameplay loop even more interesting. If you guys remember back on the Sega Genesis, a game called Poltergeist it had gameplay mechanics like this where you jumped into the environment in order to raise fear in order to win the game, basically. Take a look. Okay, I don't want to spoil too much about the characters, so I will keep it very minimal at best. So starting with Henry the Red, he was introduced in the Army of Darkness, the third Evil Dead film, when Arthur captured the both of them. Scotty was introduced in the very first film. He's actually the one that organized the trip to the cabin in the first place. And Kelly was introduced in the Ash vs. Evil Dead series. Her full name is Kelly Maxwell. Also, young Ash and Arthur should be mentioned since they were in the first reveal trailer shown. Arthur appears in Evil Dead Army of Darkness. So with the fighting system, I kind of mentioned it in the previous video that it looked like The Last of Us and or such games as Batman Arkham series fighting style, fluid animations. I really want to know how they're going to make this work in a multiplayer environment. This is magic to me if they can actually pull this off, because such fluid animations transitioning like they should. Saber Interactive and Boss Teams, I want to know how the magic works. So the interiors look really good. I'm just wondering if the Kandarian Demon, how the gameplay is going to be. It's probably going to be really intense if you get caught inside. Can the demon block a player in? Can they move through them? What's going to happen? I hope it works out, because I personally love being inside interior locations when a demon or something is hunting you down and you have to run through hallways and rooms and stuff like that. We'll have to see how it all works. Also, there's a shotgun floating right over here. This is Pablo from Ash vs. Evil Dead tearing some shit up with his shovel. He's obviously going to be pretty badass. For those of you that love it, you finally get to drive it, a virtual version of the 1973 Oldsmobile Delta 88 that you see in all of Sam Raimi's films. How safe is the Survivor? How big is the map that you can drive around? I'm sure it's probably not going to be used to exit the map like in Friday the 13th. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong, but I think you're probably going to be more using it to get to one part of a map to another, to either find players or to find items, what have you. Just like last year, The Nightmare, you can kind of float around invisible, and then you can spawn yourself into existence like we spoke about in the last video. The balancing back and forth between being able to beat up someone and being able to spawn in, and the pressure that the Deadites can put on the survivors, and the pressure that the survivors can put on the Deadite player, Kandarian Demon, that all comes into question, of course. Okay, so speaking about the Kandarian Demon, how is it going to be when the survivor sees it in person when it's invisible? Now, from the movie's perspective, you only ever see the demon when it's in the first person, chasing whoever it's chasing after. Everything's sort of left up to the imagination. Will it just be a soft wind blowing around? Will it just, when you're running around as the survivor, will there be a gust of wind and then it goes away? Something kind of subtle to maybe not give the thing away, but just create an unease to the player. So you'll notice on the left and right of Kelly, there's these necklaces, looks like 2 necklaces. I'm assuming these are like collectibles that you get for some reason or another between matches. There's also looks to be a box of ammo or some other item next to her that kind of highlights as she walks by. We got a car in a driveway, and we have a suburban neighborhood mailbox. So this map, I don't know if it's maybe just a couple of houses or an entire thing, but man, a suburban neighborhood map, we've kind of been asking and hoping for it in one of these horror games, like a good one. This one could be it. I'm excited again. Cheryl Williams, who's probably going to be so much fun to play, is Ash's sister. She shows up in the very first film. She seems more of like a person that would be sitting down to do art rather than shooting deadites with guns, but hey, it's an emergency situation. You learn how to do things really quick. You guys, there's a truck sitting right here. This game is not lacking in the vehicle department so far. And finally, before we head out of here, you guys, I want to show you this right here. I don't know if it's player controlled or if it's AI controlled, but it's very Batman Arkham, where the AI or the player is dodging out of the way of the attack. And then it shows like a little glow. I don't know what that glow means, whether it just signifies a successful dodge or an opening for an attack. I'm not quite sure. It doesn't signify an unblockable attack like it would normally in an Arkham game, because Ash immediately just destroys him right after. But this is all interesting. I'm wondering what's going on with the fighting mechanics here. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me in and breaking down some of this trailer. If you guys seen or know of things that I didn't catch, let me know in the comments. Post a video. I want to see. I love the back and forth, and I just want to know more about the game. I'm as excited as you guys probably are. You guys, I'm going to be trying to cover this game as much as I can. Subscribe, follow the channel, and I will see you guys next time on the next video. I can't wait to play more. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.